Hello, friends. Welcome to episode 232 of the Nope Coach podcast. This was meant to find you. I'm your host, Suzanne Culberg. So, on more than one occasion, I have been asked to provide show notes, an episode description, more details about what each episode is about, other than just the title, because that is what people are used to. It's a very deliberate decision on my part to just have the title and then see what happens. Because I believe that the episode that you press play on was meant to find you. How often in life have you found a book, read the blurb on the back, read the description, and been like, yeah, you've resonated with the title, you've gelled with the blurb, you've started reading it, and you're like, this isn't for me. What they meant by what they wrote on the back and what I thought I was going to be getting are not the same thing. So having a episode description, having something to let you know what you're getting in for ahead of time doesn't guarantee that the thing that you're choosing to listen to is what you thought it would be. And sometimes, like, one of my favorite quotes, I have many favorite quotes, but one of them is from Joseph Campbell. He says, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasures that you seek." So linking this to "this was meant to find you," sometimes when I listen or read or come across something that I'm like, ooh, we all do it. You're like, oh, but it stays with you like a earworm or an idea, like Matrix implanted in the back of your mind or Inception. And that idea, that thread, that thought was meant to find you, was meant to unpack, was meant to unfurl. And so I think, if you start listening to an episode of this show or any show and you're like, I'm just not feeling it, then you can press stop and press play on another one. And I trust that you'll do that. Or you can sit with it, go, what was I supposed to learn here? What was the message here? Why was this meant to find me? And see how that unfolds. Because I think so often in life, we try and put our discomfort onto someone else. You should have an episode description. You should have you should have a transcript. You should have this. You should do that. You should run your calls at this time. It's like we externalizing our discomfort and putting it onto someone else, when really it's like, maybe this isn't meant for me at this time, and trusting that what is meant for me will find me. There are times where I go to things, listen to things, read things, and I'm like, this isn't what I expected in any way, shape, or form. Funny story. In this last week, I went to a virtual birthday party for this lady called Deanna Seymour. And I'd only just come across her stuff, been introduced to her by May Kay Sang. Anyway, long story short, jumped onto her like Zoom birthday party, kind of was like, she was having some issues with the breakout rooms. I was like, hi, I'm Suzanne. We just met. Make me host. I can do that. And like, just taking it over. And then she sent me this lovely worded message afterwards, like, thank you so much, save my bacon here. Like, we were meant to find each other. We were meant to connect in that way. And I really, really trust that. And one of the things that she had was like this 15-second thing where you could, do somebody a shout out. And she was like, how do I make a timer for 15 seconds? And she was using her phone. I was like, I can do that. Like, I know how to do that in Zoom. And so I did. And she's like, how did you figure this out? And I was like, well, it was a funny story. I went to a workshop. I don't even remember what the workshop was on now, in all honesty. I just remember it being an hour of my life that I couldn't get back. And at the end of it, when the person opened up for questions, nobody had any questions. And I did. I was like, my one question was like, how did you get that timer function in the background of your screen? And so my takeaway from that hour was, now I know how to do that. I had that skill. So I don't know about anyone else, but I don't find Zoom a particularly intuitive platform. Like, how once you know how to do stuff, turn off the annoying chimes, use the breakout rooms, use the timer feature. Once you know how to do it, it's great, but it's not as intuitive as other things. So all that to say, like, that technique, being able to set the timer function, was meant to find me at a workshop that I went to about something else. So I got nothing about that topic, but then I learned this skill that then I was able to teach to other people at a Zoom birthday party. So it's all connected, even though it seems seemingly unrelated. And when we go about life like that, like my time's never wasted. If I go to something and it isn't how I thought, I used to boom and moan, oh, I wasted my time, I wasted my money, I wasted this. And now I'm like, well, what did I get from this? Like that workshop, as I said, I don't even remember what it was about now in hindsight, but what I got from that was how to use this feature that I then taught to other people. There's been so many things. It's like, what did I get from this? What I got from this is I need to ask a few more questions before I go to things in future. I can't assume that the description matches what I think in my head. I think it's another reason I don't write long descriptions. I've read some most beautiful sales pages and gone to things and had a vision in my mind of what it's going to be. And it hasn't been that in any way, shape, or form. So what they meant by this and what I meant by this is two very, very different things. But I did get something from that. You know, I went to university. I did a diploma of education, which I have not used officially in any way, shape, or form. But I run webinars and masterclasses and trainings. Like I teach, just not in a school. But, you know, I made some connections there, some really great lifelong friends that I may not have met if I didn't go. And funny story, one of my best friends from there isn't a teacher either. We both haven't used that in the way that we thought. But this was meant to find me. I was meant to find that person. I was meant to make this connection. When we go about things with that kind of energy and attitude, life really does change because you never wasted time or money or energy. It's just looking for the diamond in the rough, looking for the thing that you were supposed to learn from that. I've been to movies or watched a movie that I was like, oh, that movie, you know, wasn't what I thought. But there was a song that I loved, or there was a scene or a quote, or there was something that I took away from that. And I was like, oh, this was meant to find me. So, anywho, I just encourage you to think when you think about people that you follow, books that you enjoy, movies that you've liked, things that you've connected and interacted with, how did you find them? Sometimes you might be like, oh, yeah, I was Googling this or whatever. But most of the time, it's a very non-linear way that you connected with them. I met them through this. This person recommended them there. Like, you know, I was meant to find this. And yeah, when you go about life looking, you know, this was meant to find me, or I was meant to get something from this. What is the thing? This has freed me up from being the perfectionist who has to finish everything. Like if I start reading a book and it's not really my jam, but I got one gem from it, I can just leave the book. I don't need to finish it. I don't need to, if I go to see a movie and it's like, this isn't really gelling with me, I don't need to sit through the whole movie. It's like, you know, what I got from this wasn't supposed to happen today. Or there was this one thing, like this one song, one scene, one thing. When you go about life, you know, with this was meant to find me, it's a freeing thought indeed. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hope to catch you on the next one. Bye for now.